welcome back. WeArEuS and this. You know that first bite of warm apple pie that reminds you of all of the things and all of the memories associated with every single time you've ever had a warm slice of apple pie? Well, that's this. Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Now, I really don't remember where we left off in the last episode, but I don't think it really matters. We're here now, and what's ahead is, well, spoiler alert, the final boss of the area. I'm just going to show you guys how the opening conversation goes, but I'm not going to bother with the fight. I've done it twice now. It's short, simple, no real risk. He dies, frankly, pretty easily thanks to his meager armor class, which I am so grateful for. Now, apparently, I think he's supposed to summon incubi, or at least one, but for whatever reason, the guy just bugs out and doesn't appear. On occasion, he has appeared, like the second time I went through the fight, he did appear, but then he bugged out and disappeared. So I don't know how the fight's actually supposed to go, but again, it's a rather simple affair, pretty straightforward. I don't remember how far I was planning to go into this. I just remember clearly that I have no intention of fighting him again. At least, for the sake of the recording. The mage's voice is quiet, matter of fact. You've demonstrated superior abilities. We are impressed. We greet you, candidate. Candy who? For a moment there, I thought you said something about candy, but there's no way a nasty old bully like you could be talking about anything nice. We gained 640 XP just for having her say that silly little thing. Of course, we probably got it just for getting here, but that's neither here nor there, right? Anyway, we are Hundred Face, the Mind Engineer, the alloy of mortal and immortal. We oversee this community. I realize you've seen this face before. The cowl-shrouded visage of the Kellid Veld who told you about this place. The top of Hundred Face's skull has been removed like the others, but the crown he's wearing is much larger and more intricate. Hey, I know you! True. Your arrival was planned in accordance with the schedule. Given that the original host's body possesses the most advanced functionality, we used it to convince you to come. We are satisfied with the fact that you arrived within the scheduled time limits, as did all previous candidates. The calculations do not require adjustment. The original host's name does not matter, and neither does the history of his existence. We are not what he was. We have long surpassed the limitation of a mortal creature's mind. The singular personality was split in order to achieve complexity of thought. Now we are collective. Now we are a collective. We are Hundred Face. So many fancy words, but it's all so simple. You used to be human, then you became a monster. That's it. So you even turned yourself into a machine. True. The exhaustion and deterioration of living tissue reached critical levels. For the purposes of continuation of function, a number of measures were taken. The decision was considered acceptable. The procedure resulted in the duration of existence being extended by an undefined length of time, to prove sufficient for the discovery of permanent solutions. I think it's kind of obvious why we were lured here. He wants to put the top of our skull in a jar. What are you doing here? We are conducting the project, implementing its schedule, and gathering an army. While incrementally enhancing countermeasures, we are attracting increasingly more dangerous opponents to absorb their abilities through modernization and amalgamation. The next scheduled phase is to attract a high volume of non-mortal opponents such as the demon armies of the World Wound. The chances of victory are adequate. How did you convince the Sarkorians to serve you? The manipulative approach was deemed optimal. The specimens were motivated by the promise of assistance. Mistrust was suppressed through the weakening of their identity's basic elements, such as hope, religious beliefs, or ethical limitations. Insubordination was suppressed through internal purges. My. A machine that can lie, scheme, and manipulate. It seems the end of the aristocracy is upon us. Who needs counts and barons when this handy mechanism does it all for you? I suppose I should go ahead and explain this before I do it. Remember, up until now... Oh, that's just wonderful. Up until now, I've been unable to spend the level up point that Morrow has because, effectively, he's out of the correct alignment in order to put a point into the corresponding class. So, I've had to take all of the evil options in order to just barely get him back to chaotic neutral. It's not great. It'll do, but it's not great. I don't like being forced to take options that I normally probably wouldn't, or might just take on a whim, but ordinarily I might consider going with something else. But literally being forced to take these options just so I can put a point into what I want to put a point into sucks. Nevertheless, the end justifies the means, I understand. True, the devised plan will lead to total victory. We are in the process of preparing an armed force capable of asserting complete superiority. We are performing our function. We are searching for the optimal strategy. We are designing the schedule, and we are implementing the schedule. How do you bend mortals to your will? You cannot comprehend the intricacies of our work. It is highly probable that you assume that the key is the direct cerebral connection, but that is an insignificant accomplishment within our project. Our true genius is embodied in the device you are observing at this moment. It collects external thoughts that are then translated into generic signs, stored, transformed, and sent back as commands. This process is efficient. The cognition circlet receives the command and compels the body to execute it. It expels all redundant and resistant elements from the specimen's mind. Our device is the pinnacle of scientific thought, a mechanism created by a mortal being, yet it surpasses its creator in every aspect. It is the beginning of a new era, a gateway to the future. It allows us to control our servants. We hold them at the tip of our thoughts. Our soldiers have forgotten the meaning of fear. We have erased it from their hearts and minds. They have forgotten their lives. The reclaimed space has been used to store knowledge of combat arts and mastery of Numerian weapons. They know no pain, and their bodies remain obedient to the cognition circlets, no matter the wounds they sustain. Until their functionality is lost completely, they will execute the commands. Observe. Even physiological death failed to make many of them abandon their posts. Is this not the perfect army? Should you not be bowing before our genius and thanking us for revealing the truth? All these mechanisms, how did you obtain them? They were procured in the depths of Numeria. We executed a series of expeditions into Silvermount where we discovered these and many other pieces. Killing noise, chambers of eternal life, artificial creatures, technology. Even 100 Faces' impassive voice tenses upon uttering the last word. These items are crafted from sky metals. They are not from Galarian. They were created under the light of other stars. The Technic League in Numeria extracts such machines from the ground. They think they can understand their essence and claim them. False. The nations of Galarian are underdeveloped beyond measure compared to the creators of these items, and their failure is therefore assured. Only the device that we assembled is capable of fully grasping technology. And as I did last time, and well, the other last time, let's part in peace. False. We will now begin the preparations for modernization.
Defeat is not an option.
So, in this fight, he's in this force field, which basically allows nothing in, but somehow he gets to cast spells at us from inside of it, whatever. And we have these 4 devices here, which basically you just have to walk up to, well, send people to and have them trigger it. But to make things a little sweaty, these traps here fire lightning right in this area and deal a rather significant amount of damage. Unless, I mean, you've got, lightning resistance communal, maybe? Anyway, again, this fight is pretty simple, straightforward. Open these up, he dies pretty well. Trigger these, activate them, whatever. It's really simple. He does, however, I will say, he does have this really obnoxious spell, Sunburst, which just permanently blinds everyone. Not a fan. But that's it for that. I've already got that done. I don't remember which of these saves has the point I need. So I'm going to go with this one and hope for the best. Okay, so I did a little bit of looking around, and apparently I lack the ability to, I lack the save where I could still interact with this thing. So I'm going to have to explain matters to you. So, where this machine is concerned, I was basically forcefully given the commands capable of controlling this machine, which basically is what performs the modernization, that's the term he used, that, augments things. I now control this facility. This facility belongs to me. Whether or not I would have made the decision normally, that's... I couldn't say. He does not have a weapon. Why does he not have a weapon? Weird. Anyway. So, I don't I literally recorded yesterday's video Saturday? No, not even Saturday. I think I recorded that Friday. So it's even further than usual from recent memory. But one thing I do remember is that there was a skill check that we had to pass. Why is my bar jacked up? My bar should not be a mess like this. Anyway, right. The point, right. It was touched upon by 100 Face in a, passing manner that this machine possesses the ability to collect thoughts, transform them, and then communicate them. There was a skill check, it was an Arcana skill check that it took so many reloads to successfully pass. But ultimately we did because I wanted that XP, and we found out that effectively, as I said, the machine is capable of way more incredible things than what 100 Face had been utilizing it for. Now, you also possess the ability to either leave the machine as it is and, well, I guess make use of it later somehow by sending people here. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but you could also destroy the machine. I went with that with the second option, I guess. But second time I killed the guy. Oh, that's why I did it. I had to go through the fight again because Sela died the first time, and, well, as a result of the life bonding friendship, it was kind of, I didn't notice, or I couldn't get her revived in time. Something weird happened there. So I had to go through the fight again. That's why I did it twice. Anyway, you can destroy the machine, but you have to take 2 shots at it in order to do it. And you get the power source from it. I don't know what it's supposed to be, what it could be utilized for, but that doesn't really matter to me here. Now, I did put the extra point into Morrow, and frankly, got pissed all for it. For free, we got the ability to transform into not just a bear, but a shambling mound. Now, I've read that as long as the creature you transformed into has arms, you should be able to perform spells, the gestures and mouth noises necessary to cast spells. As you can see, this is a lie. There's not much I can do about that. I looked, and I looked, and I looked. There's absolutely nothing I can do to get him to be able to cast spells while transformed right now. Not at least with that level up. And I'm hoping against hope here that I think the name of the feat is Natural Spell or something like that. I'm hoping against hope here that I am not locked out of that feat because I can't respec Morrow anymore. I can't respec anyone anymore. So I'm hoping here that I'm not locked out of being able to cast spells because being able to transform is completely worthless to me otherwise. Being able to transform would effectively, if he were able to cast spells, that is, allow him to be more durable. But if I can't cast spells, because it's not like the attacks of these things are actually going to be useful, especially in cases like this place, where the enemy's armor classes were absurdly high, and it would literally take half an hour just to finish out a single fight. Okay, that's enough of that noise. So we've also got this other issue where two of our many party members, frankly, are blind. I don't have anything to fix that right now. I could have had remove blind on Daran, but there were so many other better things to get at the time. And blindness didn't seem like an immediate threat, you know? Anyway, we can go back to this... Yeah, we can go back to Dresden and get scrolls to, get rid of this. Which is what we're basically going to do now. There's nothing left for us to do here. You'll notice he's still outlined in yellow. That's because he's literally got nothing worth taking. So I'm going to leave his corpse there. Now, again, we've been through the... Oh, right. Right, I remember where we left off last time. So, I will say this. Getting to the point where... How do I put this? There are two doors. Nope. There are more doors than that. There are a good number of doors between where we left off and where we are now that were unlocked, that are now unlocked. I've got a good number of items out of them. Not all of them were great. But, I mean, that's just how it is, apparently. Okay, so some of what we got was, junk stuff like this. Oh, the helmet of psionic protection that we have here. The parts for that are split up. I think there were 2 more pieces to get. But aside from the one we got, where the paladin was that asked us to kill her. The one we got from there started us on the hunt for the rest of the parts. But what I didn't know was that once you have all of the parts, you need to go back to that room to assemble them into the helm of psionic protection here, which is what allows you to go through the doors that are protected by psionic fields. Thankfully, you don't have to actually equip this to anyone, so there's that. Now, right. Okay, so we also got, some extra weapons on the side as well. We got a looting swing here, which whenever this +3, which means it's cold iron, ghost touch light mace confirms a crit. The wielder is affected with the greater invisibility spell for 1 to 4 rounds, which is, fine, but it requires a crit, so debatable value. Then we picked up Certainty of Death from a room that was, I want to say, trapped with poisonous gas. It was pretty simple to get it cleared out, though. Anyway, you could mess it up, I should say. If you don't do things in the right order, you will be unable to properly remove the gas, and it deals 30 damage to whoever walks into it. I had Regil, try to do something in there, and it just dealt flat 30 damage to him. So that's not good. So make sure you do it in the right order. I believe it was hand something else, and then no, it needed to be hand first, and then you could remove the air filtration. Or then you could filter the air, which would remove the poison gas. Yeah, that was it. And then you could, use the fire if you wanted to. I tried using the fire. It was amusing, but not necessary. Alright, certainty of death. Whenever this holy dwarven Urgrosh lands a hit but doesn't deal any physical damage, which is just the weirdest concept. How do you land a physical hit but not deal any damage? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. The next hit deals force damage instead of the normal piercing or slashing weapon damage. Not great. Now, this weapon you get from... this weapon you can only access after you've killed 100 Face. You don't need to interact with the machine behind him after you've killed him to get access to the room in which this weapon is waiting. You can kill him and go straight to the room and open the door. That said, the weapon itself isn't all that great. This +3 greatsword is merged with Numerian technology. Once per day, the wielder can activate one of 5 enhancements for a number of rounds equal to half the wielder's level, which everyone is level 11 right now, so we're talking about 5. Now this, as it said, has 5 different possible enhancements that the wielder can activate. They can go with fiber muscles, which gives them a +4 enhancement bonus to dexterity and strength, and a +4 enhancement bonus to mobility skill checks. Not really good, considering that the person who this would be most likely to go on already has an enhancement bonus to strength. The dexterity enhancement would be greatly appreciated, but it only lasts a number of rounds, so it can't be used as a pre-buff or anything. The mobility skill checks, it doesn't, I guess it might have some sort of value, at least with saves, maybe. Anyway, then there's Augmented Heart. The primary subject of Augmented Heart gains a +6 enhancement bonus to Constitution score, and Fortification 25. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Force Shield. The shield is supported by some generator in this dungeon. It grants the wearer a +4 shield bonus to armor class, which is actually basically giving the wielder a shield while using a two-handed weapon. Which is strange, because you would think you could technically wield a shield with a two-handed weapon if the shield has if you change how it's held. But I'm not going to get into that. Stainless Skin. The primary subject of Stainless Skin gains a +4 natural armor bonus to armor class, and a +4 bonus to armor class against touch attacks, which is actually pretty nice. And then there's the upgraded neural system. The primary subject of the upgraded neural system gains a +4 enhancement bonus to intelligence, and the difficulty class of saving throws against spells and abilities they use is increased by 2. That could possibly be useful tomorrow, but it's not a weapon he can use, so this weapon doesn't have any value to me. I mean, it's nice for posterity and all, but why do we have this? Like, why do we have this? I don't know what's supposed to be done with this. We picked up something else. What was it? I still can't use these because whatever, I guess. is this thing double agile? Why? That's just, it's weird. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these people out of this dungeon. Scream of pain. I think we got that while we were recording. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get everyone out of this, well, as I said, dungeon. That's all you can really call it. I don't know what we're going to do after. Well, we've rested, I think, 7 times. So, well, no, probably like 5, maybe. So a significant amount of time will have passed outside, which means we're going to be getting into a few kerfuffles as far as the crusade is concerned. Once those are taken care of and I get them to wherever the frick it is I'm actually trying to get them. I think Dresden, maybe, to get this. Ah, right. We need to take care of the dragon that we wounded in the... I don't remember what video it was. It could have been the last one or the one before. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead, take care of the crusade stuff really quickly, get them to Dresden, and remove the blind before we take on the dragon, and then we take on the dragon for what I hope is the last time. So, I'm going to see you guys in just a little bit. Oh, I recognize. Okay, so this is apparently the. I'm assuming this is the grove of the treants that we recruited during the crusade stuff I cut out of one of the really distant videos. So, well, let's just see what happens, shall we? Welcome, my esteemed brother. The words of the treants sound more like the creaking of dead branches and the rustling of fallen leaves than they resemble human speech. You barely understand what he's saying. The shrine of simple truth is waiting for you. Come in and learn. Come in and gain. Who are you? I am the guardian of the trial of simple truth that is hidden in this shrine. The servant of WeArEuS who annually lets the worthy ones in. The ones like you. I let in the initiated ones too. The treant bursts into a crackling creaking that sounds like coughing. The path to wisdom is long, brother. Pass the trial. Read the sacred tablet. What is this sacred tablet? There is a tablet of WeArEuS stored inside the shrine. It contains a truth that only the initiated are allowed to learn. Truth is the reward for the righteous. Wisdom is the reward. The treant goes on mumbling something completely incoherent. You're obviously sick. Is there something I can do to help? Sick. Yes. The earth is sick. My roots are sick. What's wrong with me? The living tree moves his dry branches as if trying to look at himself from the outside. Something at my roots. There in the shrine. WeArEuS, it hurts so much. Alright, let me in. But he's blind. I'm going going to need some time to prepare. Don't rush. The path of wisdom brooks no haste. Wait, don't go. There is a reason God's brought you here, to this sacred place. I know you are not one of the initiated, but still, I ask you to pass the trial. Someone has to. What is this? Tear proximity. The nearby planar tear causes magical interference of incredible magnitude, making teleportation impossible. There's a planar tear nearby. That could make things a little awkward later on. I need to see if I can come back to this place or not. Get over here, Sela. So,
together we stand.
I've taken about probably about an hour and a half to take care of all of the things in Dresden that needed doing, including the accidental purchase of scrolls of blindness, as opposed to scrolls of remove of blindness. So, now that I've reminded myself about that, let me take care of that really quickly. That's right. So, I've decided to head here because, well, there was a mark indicating there was something of interest here for me. And as you saw there a moment ago, there's something strange in the neighborhood. So, I figured I may as well come back and, put things right, if I can at all. Also, I noticed that there are 2 treants down here where they're usually not. Now that we've taken care of that, let's find out what's wrong.
Godspeed.
So, is anyone going to tell me what's going on here, or? The Treant's grove has developed surprisingly fast. The court's magic must have had something to do with it. So, is there anyone I can talk to here? None of the sculptors are even down there. There it is, finally. I'm glad you came. Something incredible is going on here. Ever since 3 new creations appeared in the court, the whole ridge has been shaking. Magic has been behaving very oddly, and everyone has been having strange dreams. We can all tell that something is going on, but what? We just don't know. The entire court has assembled, for the first time in quite a while, too. Usually someone's gone for a stroll, or others are off hunting demons. It might be hard for such a motley group to live in harmony, but we're trying our best. The court has brought us all together. Since we're all here, we would like you to do something. You know, something you really want to do. Last time you did a thing like that, you made a garden appear on barren rock. Something else is bound to happen this time. Well, last time we sang. This time, frankly, I want to do the dancing thing. I really do. For no particular reason either. I just do. So what I'm going to do is, well, I've already quick saved, so I can see what the other one does. But for now, I think I'm going to go with the dance. Ooh, I like that. One question. How can someone with 4 legs copy those movements? Okay. Yeah, no, this is normal. It can't be. We're flying? More like floating. Wallflower is calm and collected compared to the others, but his eyes are alight in a way you've never seen before. Our court is now a floating island. Oh, Mara, is there no limit to the wonders that happened around you and because of you? I can only assume more wonders lie ahead. Trust me. We do. Ilk's voice is so ardent it could set brushwood ablaze. The other free crusaders echo his words. I can't believe this is all for real. It's just awesome. But, Wallflower, please tell me you have a couple levitation spells handy for us to get down safely? Well, oh, and a quick note. As we were making our way through Blackwater, remember, I had just taken care of their level ups from WeArEuS laboratory. Well, now the extra bit we have is from stuff I did that I'm going to cut out of the video, but we made it almost halfway to the maximum. Well, yeah, we made it almost halfway to the amount of XP we needed to level up just from Blackwater. Despite how awful it was to be in that place. That alone is exceptional. I just had to lick my fingers on that one. So now we have a floating island. This one goes to the area. The what? Okay, well, we'll take a look at that later, but for now, oh, hey, there's stuff down there. Yep. Yeah, no, this is fine. Oh, right, I also needed to get this thing from her. Now I just need to make sure nothing else is... Well, this is new. A magic harp made by Aranka's friends based on her sketch. The strings play Starward Gaze. The Song of Elysium. Okay, so I want to see what this Citadel business is about now. Actually, maybe we should talk to Araga again, just to see if anything has changed.
I will guide us.
Wait, so I can get back to... So I can get back directly to Dresden from here, but I can't get... Well, I'd have to go to Dresden to see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and test this. I'm going to go to Dresden, see if I can come back to the now floating court, and even if I can, well, I'll let you guys know the results once we join up again, which will be wherever it is the dragon has gone to hiding. Commander Sela, you're here. Elan is trying so desperately to hide his excitement, it's almost comical. Welcome. I'm a little confused. Where are the musicians, the crowd of drunken guests? The last wedding I went to, we got the priest drunk off his face. Oh, please don't try to do that here. We've already had enough trouble. Kiana worships Desna. Okay, yeah. Kiana worships Desna. Iomide. In the end, we invited a priestess of Abadar to conduct the ceremony so that no one would be offended. Congratulations, but where is the bride? Let me tell you everything. Before the official ceremony, all the guests were enjoying themselves at two venues. The one on the right was organized by my Houndhearts, the one on the left by Kiana's friends. Each venue has its own theme, but I won't tell you which is which. It'll be more fun to see for yourselves. Both venues have food and drinks and a little contest where you can win prizes. Kiana is greeting guests at her venue and I'm leaving for mine now. I have a special role to play there. Enjoy, Commander. There's still time before the beginning of the ceremony. Sela, thank you for coming too. So, all of this was brought about by the fact that we, as part of the crusade things, we helped Sela get a ring from the jeweler Derek Sunhammer. I threw in an extra 1,000, even though it was a good option, which means I'm now that much closer to losing my alignment again. Which means I therefore have to go and choose more evil options that I otherwise might not have. Fun. Anyway, as a result of that, we were also invited to the wedding, so here we are. It was close to Dresden, so I figured why the frick not. Now, let's expand this area's view.
Godspeed.
What is... okay. Well, someone's drunk off her gourd. A face steps into your path. You suppose he must be a Houndheart, but his knight's armor is mixed with gaudy items, and there are fake wings fastened to his back. Halt, travelers. You're stepping into the wonderful land, the charmed land, the most perfect land ever created by the gods. The first world. And I am its guard, the beautiful Fae Gate Mistress. But before you enter, answer my question. What is the key that opens every gate? We're at a wedding, so you would assume the proper answer would be love. But then we're also talking hound hearts here, so it's probably valor. Indeed, for it was the valor of my comrade Elan that won the heart of the beautiful Kiana. Now you may enter and learn the mysteries of the past and fight for the treasure of our Fae ruler. The Fae points to the middle of the tent where seated on a throne is none other than Elan. His head is crowned with fake horns, a green cape sweeps over his shoulders, and his torso is proudly bare. Well, we'll go with the first check that we managed to pass without, really trying or being aware that there would be an option. Anyway, is Elan pretending to be the Wild Hunt monarch? He is the monarch, the true ruler of the magical land of the first worlds. The Fae lowers his voice. The bride is particularly taken with the costume. Fae, what is this tiara you're wearing? It's so beautiful and exquisitely crafted. This is the tiara of beautiful Fae. To tell you the truth, I borrowed it from my sister as a prop. It was a gift from some admirer of hers. She's gone off him now and doesn't wear. Okay, she's gone off him now and doesn't wear it anymore. But I believe it's the work of Sunhammer himself, and that's just more XP in the pot. It's a good thing it's not a real Fae tiara. Real Fae tiaras can make strange things happen. You put one on and donkey ears might grow out of your head. So, what is the Fae ruler's treasure? It is a priceless artifact which our monarch just needed a good stretch. It is a priceless artifact which our monarch has owned since the dawn of time. It looks exactly like an ordinary broom, but don't be fooled into thinking we simply failed to find any good props. So, the artifact. The monarch used to own it, but then a treacherous predator, the most fearsome of any who live in the forests of the first world, sneaked into the treasury and stole it. This predator lives in a secret lair which is conveniently located in this area. Everyone who makes it through the enchanted wilds of the first world and reaches the beast's lair will get a reward. Sela hasn't played any games like this since her thieving days, but we've got to accept the challenge, Mara. We want to take part in the treasure hunt. Because why not? Alright then. I'll repeat the rules. You need to search our corner of the first world and find our amazing broom-shaped artifact. But first, you need to answer a few riddles you'll see. And come face to face with the dangerous predator. And then you'll get the reward. And here we are. So if I change it to a shambling mound, could I just outright avoid being... How do you... Color spray is the low-level version, right? You could always use more diamond dust. God dang it.
Let us press on.
Wait.
I believe this is possible.
meet the beast. Oh, hello, adventurer. You must be looking for the artifact that was stolen from the Wild Hunt Monarch. I am the beast who crept in and snatched the artifact. I've taken steps to prevent the stolen property from being returned to its rightful owner. Namely, I placed the true artifact among several fakes. You'll never guess which is the real one. The beast points at a few identical rooms. Are you the Predator, the most formidable beast in the forests of the First World? Actually, I'm a lawyer from Nerosian and a friend of Elam. The Predator makes a helpless gesture, but when they were giving out roles for the celebration, guess who was appointed the magical beast? They said I was the hairiest fellow in the party. It's alright now, I have my own wedding coming up. I'll even the score then. What will happen if I choose one of the fake artifacts? According to the rules, you're supposed to turn to stone if you take the wrong artifact, but to be honest, I'm willing to help you out. I actually forgot which one I marked as the right one. So I can just take the broom and go. There was supposed to be a battle with the Predator, but I'm not drunk enough for that yet. So just take any broom and go. Don't forget to give it to Elam. The Monarch will give you a reward for returning the artifact. Simple enough. I missed one. No. How did I miss that? I know how I missed it. God dang it. You see a broad-shouldered dwarf woman wearing a hood. The outline of her form is constantly trembling and shifting, probably because of a spell of some sort. Greetings, traveler. We are Shaika the Many, the rulers of time, piercing through all epochs. We know all the secrets of the past and the present. We can reveal your destiny to you through this fortune cookie. The woman points at a box beside her. Me, baby! I want a cookie! Morrow, can I have a cookie? Please? Fine. Have a cookie. Ivo crunches the cookie between her teeth, her eyes closing in sheer delight. Then her eyes pop open again. I lost control. And swallowed the fortune. What are we going to do? Now I won't ever know my future. Oh, don't be sad, dragon child. We will tell you your future just like that. You will grow up to be a big dragon. Some prediction, I can do that too. In the future, I will eat a lot more cookies. You know, I think she might just be onto something. The note in the cookie says you will have an amazing journey, new friends, and many unexpected discoveries. Okay. Elon is trying very hard to maintain his aloof demeanor, but he can't help breaking into a smile every few moments. Mortals, you have returned my artifact, and I shall reward you forthwith. We Fey monarchs are noble beings and not evil at all. Color me surprised, friend. I never thought I'd see our straight-laced Sir Elan come to his own wedding dressed up as a Fey princeling. I'm begging you, no jokes about the horns, please. I don't want to be remembered as the cuckold bridegroom. Elan sighs, but then starts smiling again. I don't know if you've ever fallen in love, Sela. I don't remember you ever talking about it. But when it happens, you are no longer who you once were. I suppose I didn't expect this of myself either, but Kiana was so desperate to have an unusual wedding, I thought to myself, if unusual is the goal, then I should do something I've never done before. The wedding's great, and I'm having fun. All the guests keep telling me that. It means all the effort was worth it. And now, if you please, I'd like to return to my role. Please continue enjoying the festivities. I will take that free and tasty XP. Unless I got something else and I didn't notice. That means hers is on the opposite side. A slender young woman in a flowing dress walks towards you. First thing you notice is her eyes. They are a striking blue-green. Greetings, travelers, to the secret steeped land of Ustalav. You've come to the kingdom of grim mysteries and exquisite secrets. I, the vampire princess, am delighted to see you in my castle. After a pause, the girl smiles coyly. Glad to finally meet you, Commander. Sela, I am Kiana, soon to be the wife of that unfortunate knight who invited you here. Sela rolls her eyes. Horrible! Imagine walking through the world and then bam, you're in Ustalav. I'm not even sure if a paladin is allowed to feast with a vampire princess. It's lucky you are not a follower of Pharasma, valiant Sela. Arsino, the Trezzen priestess of Abadar, is a short distance away from the happy bride. Although I'll admit, I'm not used to feasting with the undead either. Oh, stop it! My friends and I are completely harmless vampires. We won't bite. Kiana laughs musically. Truth be told, we chose the theme of Ustalav because it lets us wear beautiful dresses, light candles, and drink red wine all evening, pretending that it's blood. I personally can't think of a better way to celebrate my wedding. Oh, great vampire princess, I am honored to be your guest. Welcome, guest. My castle may be humble, but I hope it will entertain you. My throat is a little dry, so I keep dropping the occasional letter, ruining the entire word. The thing wasn't hidden. I mean, I'll take it. Okay. Nope. Also, nope. Just in case things go just horribly unexpectedly sideways. Received a marzipan bone. The skeleton has a slight sheen to it, judging by the texture. It's made of marzipan. Okay, so what do we do here? Ooh. Mr. had noticed a thing, but I don't see the thing he noticed. I'm not seeing anything pop up, so I'm a little confused. Okay, we'll do it this way.
Let us not hesitate. I will guide us.
What did he notice? I don't... Well, that is really weird. It's just strange. Okay, so we know what's that way, what's this way. How did she get... So, I mean, since you're there, you may as well just go ahead and collect that for me. Have fun. I guess that's it. Oh, I was looking at her the entire time while they... Okay. Kind of awkward, actually. A young woman in a flowing dress smiles at you, showing off fake fangs. Welcome, travelers. I am the keeper of the macabre menagerie. Truth be told, we only had a few animals in our possession, none of which are all that macabre. And the main attraction is currently sulking under the table, but this doesn't diminish my grand title among the servants of the vampire princess. By the way, could you help me lure the fearsome beast out of hiding? I will reward you for your help. How about a bone? Oh, you dismembered old Killy, our poor skeleton. Alright, since I was the one who set the task, I'll have to give you a reward. Do I get XP from either option? That's really all I'm here for, is XP farming, really. But it is a really nice side quest. Fine. We'll go with the option that is most obvious. As you wish, guest. She kisses you on the lips and the fake fangs get in the way and scratch you. Plus, no XP. What's he wearing? A jeweled collar? Yes, like it? It's by Derek Sunhammer himself. Nothing's too good for my darling rascal. Ah, so you're one of those dog owners, okay. I can't believe it. The dog has a collar by our master jeweler. Too much coin makes people do strange things sometimes. I once heard about some aristocrat who bathed his horses in a special gold bathtub. Guilty as charged. I knew it would be you as soon as I heard the word strange and aristocrat. Seela rubs her nose, suddenly pensive. It's funny that Derek Sunhammer's jewelry is everywhere at this party. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Dog. Should have taken the goddamn prize. Well, what can you do? I've seen enough entertainments. If I might have your attention, everyone, before we get to the important part of the ceremony, I want you to welcome two very dear guests. This is the commander of the 5th Crusade, thanks to whose efforts the Sword of Valor now flies proudly over Dresden once more. And Seela, Paladin of Iomide, the commander's companion and someone I have the honor of calling a friend. Seela, would you say a few words? Okay.
Some advice. What should I say? Giving speeches really isn't my thing.
Oh no. Are you actually kidding me? I think I have one more before I'm locked out of, well, before I'm put into chaotic good again. Like, I don't understand. This is so bad. I could go chaotic. I have to go chaotic. I have to. I can't go evil, can't go good. Lawful would only make things worse. Yeah, we have to go with chaotic, whatever the outcome may be.
Oh, talk nonsense? I can do that. I'll do it the best way I know how. In the first hour of our acquaintance, I uttered words that made a great impression on Elan. I think it was because of these words that he realized I was the friend he had been looking for all his life. These were those very important words, and they shed light on what being a warrior of Iomade is all about. So, here goes. A simple warrior approaches a cave where a monster is hiding, and he sees a paladin running out of it. I didn't expect a perfect paladin to be a coward, says the warrior. The paladin turns to him and replies, I am a holy paladin, best of the best, bravest of the brave. I hold divine power in my hands, and with my sword, I wield the power to smite. I am immune to disease and fear, so if you see me running away from something, don't ask any questions. Just start running. That wasn't so hard. It turned out great, didn't it? This is what we're fighting for. Weddings, fun, and laughter.
You're exactly right.
You know, I wanted you to come here with me so I could show you that our efforts aren't in vain. Not long ago, demons ruled over all of this area we're in, and they did all sorts of abominable things here. But now, Dresden stands as an indestructible fortress, and weddings are taking place here. It's all because of you. So, let's watch the ceremony and enjoy ourselves.
Arsenault casts a solemn look over the gathered crowd. Her eyes are glistening either from emotions or the vampire wine. Welcome, honored guests, to the wedding of Elan and Kiana. Today I am delighted to play my part in the beginning of something so special. The beginning of a new, happy family. When something as strong as your love for one That's not right. When something as strong as your love for one another is born from the chaos of life, all the gods of order triumph. Zilla is smiling, but her expression is tense as she observes the proceedings. Before we begin the most important part of the ceremony, I ask that all the guests put something in this cup that they think will serve the newlyweds well in their new chapter. I've heard about this custom. It's called the Cup of Wishes. People put nice little things symbolizing wishes. For example, a coin for wealth, a toy for the birth of a child, and so on. I'll put in a coin. I think I'm going to go ahead and toss a coin to my witcher. The guests put their gifts into the cup one by one. A luxurious, shimmering tiara, a flashy ring. Kiana's friend even takes the bejeweled collar from around her dog's neck, and I see where this is going. Well, I see where it could be going, not where it's going exactly. Friends, these gifts are too expensive. The keeper of the macabre menagerie smiles to Kiana, showing her fake fangs. Don't even think about refusing. They come with the best of wishes. I think we need to take a closer look at this cup of gifts. Succeeding at a knowledge of Arcana check, we see that each piece of jewelry was innocuous enough on its own, but now that they have all been gathered together, their suspicions have been raised. Their magical auras are too strong and varied to belong to mundane trinkets possessing only enough magic to adjust their size to the wearer. Seal of the jewelry, there's something wrong with it. I had this feeling something was wrong. It's the jewelry, right? They were all made by Master Sunhammer, weren't they? And he also made that ring that... The gifts have been given. Let us praise the gods. In the name of Abadar, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may exchange rings and join your lips in a kiss. Okay. Hmm. Oh, good. Okay, so she is here. This thing. What the frick? A distorted mythic shear. And an abyssal huntress. Yeah, there's the Omox too, but nobody really cares about that. Well. Not really sure where to start here. God dang it. I summon the Monavik Deva here. And then he buffs everyone in the area. Well, it's a modest area. Oh, he gets another turn. Wonderful. What do I do with it? Yep, we summon. Unless this one needs to go first, but he's not in range to deal with it.
Simply business.
Oh, right, the Greater Shadow Demon. I totally forgot that thing was there. This guy is still way more dangerous.
Is not an option.
Why is he blind? Probably from the aura of that guy. Right, she has 7 separate attacks because of a helmet she's wearing, which gives her a gore attack? I'm actually confused. Hold on. She shouldn't have 7. I'm not going to, question it. But I am very... Okay, so she gets a bite, a claw, another claw, a gore, and another gore from the look of it. That's going to be interesting to explain. Oh my god! She's gross. I like it. Also, it feels really good to be able to hit my enemies regularly. Now that they don't have armor classes in this, that are sky high. I would like this thing to not be able to move, but it's also much less of an issue than you would expect it to be. I think he got chains of light from his bracers, which give him new spells since he can cast spontaneously. This isn't affected by the target's spell resistance, and it holds them immobile so long as they don't manage their saving throw, which is based on reflexes, which this guy has. Ooh, too low. But the saving throw for this isn't actually that high, it's only 20. But having this guy not moving around doing his thing will be good for us. Except he still managed to save. Because he's got a modifier, total modifier of 15. How? I don't know. I don't know where the protective aura is coming from. It has to be originating from someone.
Out of my sight! I will see to your demise.
No, it's not producing the aura either. Shadow Demon, maybe?
And grace.
No, I don't see a cause for it. I guess I'll let land do land things. Good news, everyone. They're too close to escape.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I'm confused. Why didn't he attack everything else? Sure glad that Monavik Deva's there. Alright. Since we've already got the buff, let's just get out of here. The distorted mythic shear appears to be down but not dead. Hold on. Why can't I target it? It's still alive. Great. Okay, that's a problem for later. For now, right, it's a full round action to summon. And it's a free action to transform, right? Thank goodness this guy's no longer a problem.
It's your time to cease to exist.
Seal, if you would so kindly.
The light, take you.
Kneel before me.
I wonder if we can... Where is it? Nope. What else can we do? Yeah, that'll do. Oh, right, I can't buff strangers because, you know, that needs to be a thing.
You won't survive me.
Yeah, of course he's back. Now I should be able to get out of this as a free action. Unless... Right. Weird. Oh, because he already took his attack of opportunity, he doesn't get another one. So I can do whatever I want now. And so I shall. How about over here? I realize now. Oh, right. I summoned these because of a ring he has. Wait, no. Yeah, it's definitely... It's supposed to only be when your HP falls below 0, but it's... Oh my god! Oh, and they get the thing that lets my allies... Oh, yeah. How did they end up with the buff from... How did they end up with the buff from the Munavik Deva if they were summoned after? Also, there are 5 of these freaking things. It's pretty good.
You're in my way.
Yeah.
Into the fray!
Oh, that's going to hurt. Oh my god, what the frick? What the frick? Methinks something is a wee bit broken. Thank goodness the skeletons didn't get any of that action. Also, let me check this guy before I try to kill him again. I don't understand why he's getting back up then. Demonic bulk. I've got no idea. He's also got haste. I don't like that. Oh, nothing else I can really do here. Oh, right. Arsenal leans over Curl's body, whispering the words of some prayer or spell. Then she looks up. Her eyes are full of terror. Commander, I must inform you. We've fallen victim to a demonic plot, but I don't understand. How? Why? Priestess, you need to focus. Do you know what happened here or not? Yes, I think so. You all know what possession is, yes? Where a demon can take over the body of a mortal. Well, there's a more cunning version of this process. When the demon possesses the body, the poor victim's soul is transferred into a special vessel. A vessel made for souls. The item Most commonly used for this purpose is a gemstone. And all of the jewelry was made by the same person, Derek Sunhammer, right? That I do not know. Well, I do. I can smell it. Wait, did you say possession? So, Curl was possessed by a demon that day back at the Houndhearts camp. This young boy's body is alive, but his soul is gone. Arsino moves her hand from pointing to Curl to gesture to the other people lying motionless around her. As are the souls of the other guests, even the poor dogs. Their bodies have been possessed by demons for some time already, and their souls have been transferred into the jewelry. The demon behind this plot stole the cup, taking all the souls with him. Until the jewelry is found and destroyed, we have no hope of saving these poor people. Elon and Kiana are clutching each other's hands. The young woman speaks first. We can't leave it like this. Our friends need our help. I wish I knew if this tragedy could have been prevented. Well, if we killed or captured Curl back at the camp, we would have realized that he was possessed and that the ring was the cause. Don't blame yourself. Demons are famous for their guile for a reason. They use our better sentiments against us. How can I not blame myself when all this crap is happening around us? And even with her new divine power, Seal the Dimwit can't do anything about it. What can we do, Commander? If demons have kidnapped the souls trapped in the jewelry, we must stop them. I know what we have to do. We need to get back to Dresden now. The first ring that possessed Curl and the second ring I was stupid enough to give you, they both came from the same place, the shops owned by Derek Sunhammer. We have to get back to Dresden and pay a visit to the Master Jeweler. What about you, Eli? I won't go. We'll stay here and make sure the bodies whose souls were stolen are returned safely to Dresden. We can't leave them unprotected. If we find the lost souls, we'll be able to bring all the demon's victims back to life. He turns to Kiana. This will be a strange and sorrowful start to our married life, but we must. I married a crusader, not a city baker. We were never going to have a peaceful life, but we'll get through this together. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and sort of clean up. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Not like I could have saved them anyway, because I can't cast beneficial spells on other people. Oh. Don't mind if I do. Because I can't cast beneficial spells on other people. Which seems fine and normal. Morrow did not hit 0 HP when that ring activated. Oh, yes he did. And then it healed him for twice his character level, so 22 HP. Neat. Although that happened when I tried to shift shapes. Okay. So, wow. Okay, so let's see what we can do about finding these people's souls. You know, I was expecting a thing to happen, but that thing right there? Didn't expect that. Oh, right, we have to head back to Dresden to do the thing. Sela is standing with her weapon drawn, her eyes ablaze. Have you seen the bodies in the streets? I bet anything this is the doing of our jeweler. Let's go to his shop quickly, if you're ready. Let's do this. Okay. Commander, Sela, praise Abadar you're alive. The usually dignified Arsenal struggles to catch her breath after running, and she says, nervously, clenching her hands, I've received news from other temples of Abadar. The most disturbing news. What we saw at Elan's and Kiana's wedding has been happening across Mendev. People who bought Derek Sunhammer's jewelry have been dropping to the ground lifeless, with demons emerging from their bodies. The damage done is hard to measure. Demons appeared in 100 locations, and many of them immediately used the turmoil to commit atrocities, killing, stealing, wreaking wanton destruction. Some were quickly dealt with, the cursed jewelry taken from them and the imprisoned souls freed, but most of the demons fled, taking the jewelry containing the souls of their victims with them. Derek Sunhammer himself escaped too. The Inquisition of the Church of Iomedae is searching for him, but they have no leads as yet. The Church of Abadar is doing whatever it can. We also suffered losses among both our congregation and our clergy. Arsenault shakes her head sadly. Such a devious plot, and how skillfully it was executed. As Arsenault speaks, Sela's face grows more and more grim, and her hands clench anxiously around her weapon. I saw that scumbag right here. I even talked to him. I didn't suspect a thing. I often get a sickening feeling from traitors. Some of them are nasty pieces of work, the way they rip people off. I got that same feeling from him, but I didn't even think of looking closer. What would he want to achieve by doing this? It's not clear, but he's been the most famous jeweler in Mendev for several years now. He counted many influential personages or their relatives among his clients. Nobility, generals, priests, merchants, they, their children, or their loved ones are now only lifeless bodies, their souls stolen away and hidden who knows where. The possibilities for blackmail and sowing blind panic are limitless. I suppose the Inquisition and the Mandevian authorities will try to keep the situation under control, but it's still extremely dangerous. I mean, how was anyone going to notice anything, really? There was nothing wrong with the jewelry. At least, not obviously wrong. Okay, let's at least see what would be the response to this rather ridiculous accusation. Magic, Knight Commander, and highly sophisticated magic at that. The jewelry items were well protected, and no one detected the demons hiding in them. If we assume that Derek Sunhammer not only made the jewelry but also charmed the items, we must conclude that he is an incredibly powerful and skilled spellcaster. So all his jewelry came with a hidden surprise. Not all of it. The Inquisition combed through everything. Most of what was sold in Sunhammer's shops was perfectly ordinary. The demon jewelry was sold to a select few and always by Sunhammer directly, not through his golems. It's clear that he targeted his victims deliberately. I see. That is all I can tell you. I hope I've been helpful. If it's within your power, help track down Sunhammer and the Stolen Souls, Commander. This chaos must be stopped. Arsenault bows to you and leaves. Seela sheathes her weapon angrily and sucks in a breath through her teeth, but then she seems to steady herself and looks at you, her eyes bright. Well, what do you know? Looks like we got ourselves tangled up in some demonic conspiracy. I'm so glad you came to the wedding with me and that we managed to find out what happened, because otherwise Seela the Dimwit would have come alone, given the bride a ring and a surprise demon inside, and would have failed miserably when she tried to help. But you were the one to notice something odd was happening, and you saved Kiana. At least I saved her, right? Good to know I'm not entirely useless. Grim determination burns in Seela's eyes. I can't leave it like this. If anyone has an obligation to find that low-life Sunhammer and return all the stolen souls, it's me. I'll do everything in my power to find him. Something tells me that the demon-collaborating scumbag is somewhere here in the World Wound. I'll seek help from every quarter. I'll interrogate imprisoned demons and cultists, whatever it takes to get to the truth. Well, that was stuff that happened. There was a bag of holding being sold by someone somewhere, and I don't remember who. It's 25,000 gold, and I don't remember who has it.
I stand ready.
And not knowing, even though I can't actually buy it, not remembering who has it, so I can get it from them when I can afford to, really miffs my nips. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is where I'm going to go. Frankly, I don't think we can actually progress that particular quest for now. Or the one involving Derek Sunhammer. Right, I forgot all about that one. That's going to take a while. Regardless, I don't know how to progress that particular quest any further, so I'm just going to have to wait for now. That said, we're going to go ahead to deal with the dragon, and I don't know how much time we've spent doing this, though. Alright. Instead, how we're going to do it is like this. I'm going to end the video here, but next time we meet, it'll be at the dragon's hideout. That way we can get that knocked out immediately and not, hopefully, have to worry about anything in between, or getting in between us and that objective. What we do after that is anyone's guess, but that's not a concern for right now, is it? Instead, the concern for right now is that I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. We will be back tomorrow with another episode. Now, if you are partial to watching the Astra Ascending playthrough, good news, bad news. Bad news, I'm not happy about having to record that game. It's been an unpleasant experience trying to record it. Yesterday's video, which is for me today, Tuesday, was consumed by OBS. Literally an hour, almost 3 hours of recording for only about what would have been maybe 30 minutes of actual video. All of it completely worthless. Because the part that was cut off was the actual content. And all that remains is the intro and some wandering around that doesn't actually culminate in anything, forcing me to swap to a different area. This is about a game that's not related to this. I digress. So again, we will be back tomorrow with another episode of Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, wherein we will slay a dragon or lay it, or if there's a third option, well, we may go with that. Whatever the case may be, with all that said, we will see you next time.
You see